What's up, Change the Channel podcast listeners? My name is Megan Grace, and this is another episode of Change the Channel podcast. Welcome back to the show. As usual, Change the Channel podcast is sort of my safe place to process things that I've noticed in the world, moments of splendor, moments of personal stretch. I am committed to bringing you the uncut live version of the things that I see and basically be both the hype man in your pocket and also kind of that news reporter reporting from the front lines of things that I'm seeing and things that I'm personally experiencing. So this episode is an episode about transitions. Transitions are powerful. They are potent. They are a part of nature and nurture. Nature somehow has figured out to not fight transitions. We notice that leaves start to change colors and fall off of trees. We notice that there's fruit-bearing seasons and there's times when the vines are empty. And nature doesn't judge herself for having these seasons sort of roll through. And I'm learning personally that transitions are a stretch for me. For me, a transition is a time where I'm sitting in a space and I've been there for a while. I have grown and matured and found so much goodness in the place that I am. And I'm beginning to find myself outgrowing the space that I'm in. That to stay in that space requires me to not extend my limbs metaphorically and sometimes physically as far as they can go. And what ends up happening is this agitation, this frequency of no longer matching the current situation, and it causes this internal strife within my body. It's my body telling me, babe, you are ready for big things. You're ready to spread the wings that you've been, doing reps in the gym about. You are ready to take on new challenges. And what I'm noticing in the channels that interrupt my desire to boldly step into the next thing are starting to sound a lot like, well, is this you giving up? Is this you taking the easy road out? Is this you missing something? Is this something that you should be fixing? Is this judgmental to say that something doesn't fit anymore? Is there a value judgment that's coming in? Are you being self-righteous? And on and on and on and on. I'm not going to keep talking about that channel because the Lord knows I can sing it in every octave, every key, and provide my own percussion. That is a channel that starts really easily for me. Not sure if that happens to you, but if it does, just know that you're in good company. Today, I find myself actively in a choosing. In a moment of choice to choose that this transition period is something that I am committed to entering into differently than I ever have before. I am usually the kicking and screaming, digging my heels in, that almost like that kid you see at the grocery store that, has fallen on the floor and all their parent wants to do is just literally get them in the car and take them home so they can feed them dinner. I'm that kid. I'm the kid in the grocery store usually. And the channel that I am committed to changing in this time is that I am leaning into curiosity. Curiosity, I believe, is the antidote to self-righteous conversations. Curiosity evokes a wonder of what am I not seeing from a non-judgmental lens. It's the opportunity to expand one's vision and therefore with the vision of what we can see, it expands what we're able to actually fully experience in the world. And so in this transition period where I'm feeling the stretch, I'm feeling the seasons winding and moving through, the channel that I am leaning into is I'm curious about what's next. What does it actually feel like as I'm finding myself emotionally and, maturity wise, and with my emotional intelligence and with my reasoning and with my social skills, as all those are growing, sometimes I actually need to look at myself again and reevaluate. Am I still that kid that feels like I'm sliding my little feet into these big grown shoes that have the heels on them and that I have attributed the words adult to? Are my feet still the same size as I'm sliding into those shoes, or have I grown? Do those shoes actually fit me now? Is it time for me to step out into the world and make a difference standing just a little bit taller and recognize that I get to be that I choose into being that? So with transitions, I'm feeling the current internal strife between, I know what this is now. I have no idea fully what there is to come. And what if the anecdote, the medicine, the new approach gets to be one of self-compassion, one of grace, one of believing that, all of us, the moment you're in now is proof positive that you actually never get stuck. A lot of us, we can look back and see these were hard obstacles. This was something that I never thought I would get past. And yet here you are sitting in a completely different seat, potentially different clothes. You've drank in a different cup of coffee this morning. You are not in that same place. And therefore, this is proof to your nervous system that you can and have successfully negotiated and navigated transitions. This is the channel that I am telling myself I am loving myself in. I am dedicated to stepping into. And so armed with self-compassion, grace, curiosity, the knowledge that I do have tools. I have lots of tools that I've picked up along the way. And even if I don't know what the next challenges are, I'm not someone that comes to them empty-handed. I'm someone that comes to them with tools in hand and with an eagerness and with the ability to give myself space to have it not be seamless all the time. I'm a dancer. I love to dance. I love to move. And there's some times when the beat just hits just right. And the movement actually flows into it so nicely that it creates this reverberation. And you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is what I chase. This is why I dance. Well, then there's all the other times where there's moments that were maybe not that full, visceral yes, but also they were beautiful too. Dance gets to be different textures, different speeds, different experiences, and it looks different and it evokes different emotions. And what I'm realizing is that when life stops being something that I'm auditioning for and something that I can either be chosen into or chosen out of, and I start to see myself as a dancer in this life, dancing and moving and doing my full best in every moment with the information I have at the time, then I see myself as a creative, a co-creative in this world, along with the universe, higher powers, the divine, to create something that's never been done before, because in this experience of me, has never been here before. And so, man, I am inviting myself and I'm inviting you into a moment of realizing that even though some of us seem to carry carry the air of that we know what we're doing and we've been doing it all along and it's easy. None of us have been the person we are in this moment because literally from morning to even 10 o'clock in the day, you are a different person. You have shed cells, you have shed, hair follicles, you potentially are moving slight different muscles in your body that are forming wrinkles like on your face and your stomach is digesting. Literally, we are just ever-changing beings that often are fighting tooth and nail to avoid the transition of moving from one thing to the next. So I bring it all back around to say, I am moving into a season of deep transition, and I'm committed to moving through it the way nature does, with elegance, seeing myself as a co-creator, dancing through this transition instead of deeply resisting it like a child on the floor, and realizing that along the way, I have grown and picked up tools that are going to be useful in this next chapter. And the channel gets to change within all of us as we're moving through transitions, that just because it's not smooth doesn't mean it's not important. Just because it's messy doesn't mean it's wrong. And just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's not necessary. And the thing that is meant to happen in this moment. Change the Channel podcast fam. I am standing with you in the space of the transitions in life, and I am calling forward and inviting in and howling out to all of you the way the animals do so well, this tone of we are all in the space of transitions together. I see you. I see your masterpiece. I see the worth and the value of what you bring to the world. And when the what if monsters pop up in our heads and we cling to what is known to step out, that keeps us from stepping into the power of the unknown and what the next step is for us, holding your hand and taking a deep breath, and we'll just do it one step at a time together. How does that sound? Oh, dear one, we are up to big things in this world. And this world needs big things. This world needs you in your masterpiece. And the masterpiece gets to move through transitions. We get to welcome them. And as they come in, they will transform us. They will transform our world. And who here is ready for a world that is transformed? Thank you so much again for joining me on this episode of Change the Channel podcast. You are a delight. You are loved. Go forth and change the channel in many ways in your life. I'll be doing the same. Can't wait to speak with you next week.